Hey, we're going to do a little coffee cake today. Why? Because I'm feeling coffee cake, and the Waka Waka community said they voted coffee cake. So, we've got most of the things already ready to rock and roll. We got some 2.5 cups of flour, 2 cups of brown sugar, a cup of milk with a couple of eggs that I'm just kind of mooshing around together. 2/3 cup of Crisco, and a teaspoon each of cinnamon, cardamom, a quarter teaspoon of generous quarter teaspoon of ginger, and I'm out of nutmeg. Believe it or not, I don't know where they are. Elsewise, there'd be nutmeg in there. I don't want cloves. Cloves is too heavy. I just want something nice and light. And 2 teaspoons of baking powder and a 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. Oven 350. We're going to go about, because instead of doing 2 8x8s, I'm going to do a 9x13. So probably bake about 30 minutes. Check it after 25. Always check it early. And if it comes out good, it's good. So, we've got our flour, mix, brown sugars. Take and put our flours in our brown sugars. Got that all good. We're just going to use the broken whisk to mix that in real nice and easy. This is just a little quick bread type of thing. Just because it's Thursday, have the day off for doing other stuff too. So we got plenty of time to make this little coffee cake. And like I said, if you haven't checked it out yet, if you like, just check groups like Old Fashioned AOL Chat. I highly recommend Joey Whispers 1776. He live streams from his dump truck Monday through Friday. He's in South Jersey. Just a lot of fun, a lot of neat people. Very dynamic group. Just regular folk having a lot of fun. Okay, so we got our brown sugar and our flour set up. We got our spices in here. They go in. Why? Because they go. And a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. The recipe I'm using is out of the Better Homes and Gardens book, the red and white checkbook, for the spicy coffee cake, spicy buttermilk coffee cake. We're not using buttermilk. Why? Because the pan doesn't really do buttermilk, and milk is just plain fine. It all depends on what everybody likes. So now that we got all this good stuff all together, we're going to take and, well, they say to cut in the shortening. I'm just going to use my hands. Why? Because hands were invented first. There we go. Did I say oven 350? And yeah, I don't grease my bowls or my baking containers. I use just parchment. Highly recommended if you've never used it before. Makes your cleanup a breeze. And it's relatively inexpensive. So we're just going to break this into there. And then the recipe calls for pulling out 1/2 cup of this for streusling on top. So you just kind of moosh the Crisco with the dry to make crumbs. I probably should have held off putting the baking powder and baking soda in, but you know what? It's not going to harm anything. Why? It's coffee cake. Can't really kill it. Coffee cake is easy. If you've got a pastry cutter, you can use that. Like I said, I'm just using good old-fashioned clean hands. Always wash your hands. Always tie your hair back. It's good things to do. Alrighty. You'll know when it's done being mixed together because you'll have little streaks of stuff in it, but for the most part it's all going to be incorporated. Now my Crisco got warm, not melted, but it got warm over the summer, well, late summer, because it gets warm in here. Alrighty, I'm going to turn this around a second so you guys can take a peek. Let me get both hands in here. There we go. After you got it goodly started, and it just kind of comes together. Just make sure you get down to the bottom. Give it a stir up. It's going to kind of look like peas and cornmeal. I like cornmeal, pretty much. Let's flip this around if we can get it. There we go. That's the way it looks. And yes, my bowl's a spinner. Why? Because there's nothing underneath her. And then let's see. It says to save out half cup of the crumb mixture. Now, if you want, you can add eggs or nuts to this, chopped nuts, whatever nut you like. Alrighty, we got that out. Yeah, the recipe, I just looked at it again. Add the other stuff, the leavening, the baking powder, baking soda, after you put this stuff in. But, hey, we're going to be good enough. Alrighty. So now we take and make a little well in the middle of it. Pull your crumbs up the sides. Now, one thing with coffee cakes and everything else, anytime you're doing a muffin method, which is where you take your wet ingredients, put them into the dry and fats, always good. Pre-beat your stuff. And don't over-mix it. There we go. That's all that. Just kind of bring it together in a fold. So pretty much everything is wet. And this is about 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. About 10 roundabouts for it. And pull out the whisk into the sink. Gonna take my pre-formed pan. That doesn't need that anymore either. Okay, that one goes away. Like I said, I love my parchment because it really saves on the cleanup. Got my oven preheating. In it goes. Anything that goes 2 8x8s can be done in a 9x13. Don't let them kid you. They lie if they tell you that's the only thing you can do. You can even do 9x9. That makes your coffee cake a little thinner. Into the sink with that. Into the corners with the batter. I'll turn this around in a minute. You can take a peek at it. I like to throw in a little cardamom with anything that has a little bit of cinnamon and ginger. It just perks up the flavor really nice. Into there. Raw egg. Alrighty. Now that that is done, we're going to take and flip this around real quick. There we are in the pan. Up the sides. This can flip a little bit more like that. There we go. Now we're going to take and drizzle. Ooh, good. Always double check your stove to make sure that you haven't put anything extra in your oven by mistake. Sometimes some people keep their extra pots and pans in there, which is not a bad thing. There we go. Sprinkle that on the top. Then we're going to give this about, like I said, about 30 minutes. We'll check it in about 25 and we'll be right back. Couple of stray thoughts while we're waiting for things to bake. This morning about, not quite 6 o'clock, I was setting up coffee, grabbing a cup, and looking across the field here where they used to have the field days. So it's the quarry where it's sunk down a little bit. And there's this light layer of fog over the bottom of it. Just a little bit of fog. Absolutely beautiful. You could just barely make it out. And I remember one year being up here, looking out the window, and someone had gone through it with their dog. And it was really cute because the dog was just having a grand old time, doop-de-doop-doop-doop, on the leash, listening, being good. And where they walked through left a path through the fog. It was just way cool and just so much fun to watch. And it was really just a remembrance that I just thought about. I was telling my hubby about it this morning and saying that, you know, it really, really, really was a lot of fun to watch. And, but this morning that fog was exactly the same way, like somebody just taken a little layer of dust and sprinkled it, but in the air, just above everything. It was just really pretty. Thought I'd like to share that with you because stuff like that, after another 10 minutes, I'll probably forget it again. So enjoy it. Just thought of another stray thought. To all you manufacturers out there that make pot holders. Sounds weird. Maybe, maybe not. But I've got a marvelous handle grip for my cast iron. This happened to come from my good friend Luis. He does cast iron cooking also. Awesome person to follow. But why are you manufacturing these using a polyester? Because if this drops onto your burner, this happens. It melts. Oh no, polyester melts. Ah! Cotton, boys and girls. Make these out of cotton. It will save your burner. It'll save your hand. Yeah, cotton. Yep. Okay, we gave her an extra 10 minutes, about 8 minutes, and this is what we've got. Hot out of the oven coffee cake. That's my beautiful little Wapak, my little number 8. Can never have enough number 8 skillets. But that is going to be what's for snackage. You can see where I poked the holes to double check it. It's nice and good. And that's going to be with a new fresh pot of coffee that we'll put on in a couple of minutes because that's got to cool down. And then we will feast. So don't be afraid to cook. Don't be afraid. I messed up. I put some of the leavening. I mixed it all up before I pulled out my half cup. You can throw in nuts, throw in chocolate chips. Chocolate chips, mini chocolate chips would be good in that, about a half cup. Nuts, about half a cup if you want them. A lot of people are allergic to nuts, so I try to avoid them. So just in case somebody comes over, no nuts. But, yeah, bake. It's fun.